Hello.
Hello?
How you doing, man?
There we go. Good, mate. How you doing? I can hear you,
Alright,
right?
yeah.
Sweet.
Kinda.
Alright, how we doing? There we go. Sorry, I got two screens. It gets a bit confused. I'm like, ugh.
It's all good, man. So
All right,
are you
nice.
currently talking with that mic, or is that what you're
So
recording?
I've got my AirPods in talking to you, but I
Right,
figured I
cool.
can record a mic at the
Yeah,
same time,
cool,
if that
man.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's cool.
That is recording.
Awesome.
Yeah, sweet. So I'll just send you the file
Yeah,
after.
that would be cool. I'm recording like
Sweet.
two separate ways as well. I'm recording like QuickTime screen recording and like Zoom have like an internal audio and video
Okay.
recording thing. So
Oh, nice. That's pretty
yeah,
good then.
so
Nice headphones.
hopefully it works. Thanks, man. Yeah, this is what it's
Turtle
talking
Beach,
about,
yeah?
man. It is, yeah. These are like broke though, man. Like, see, they're like, if I take them
Yeah.
off, they'll like fall apart. So I
Flop.
was trying to get
Yeah.
new ones, man, and it's impossible to get that stuff just now.
Yeah, it's taken me weeks to figure out because I've got the old Xbox and you can't use anything. So I just bought the first one I saw in Sainsbury's, which was just the one headphone.
Right, okay.
It's just for speaking on, so you can't actually hear
Yeah.
any of the game.
Oh,
So
it's
everyone's talking
annoying,
about footsteps. I'm like, I can't hear
man.
shit.
Yeah.
I've just got like TV speakers.
Yeah.
Like, where the hell are these people coming from?
When I
But
started playing
yeah.
Xbox, man, I used to use like, I think it was like Audio Technica headphones on top of like the little, you know, the Xbox 360. They had
Yeah.
like a little mic with it. I used to just set that over
Yeah.
the top of it.
I was thinking of doing that, but the Xbox hasn't got a headphone out, of course. The one I've
Ah,
got, because they're stupid.
could plug it in the
Um,
TV if it's got like a
You know
jack.
what it is? My girlfriend's got a Sonos, so like
Right.
it's really hard to bypass a Sonos. And
Yeah.
her TV's like on the wall, so I can't actually get to it. It's
Ugh.
real first world problems, but
Yeah.
yeah, there was no way around it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's finally sorted, and I can hear the footsteps and sniper fire going past my head,
It's good, man. I feel
which
like
is
we
good.
should just do a full episode about COD.
Yeah, basically.
Or people tuning in for music will
Nice.
be like, what?
Yeah,
What was this?
what is this?
Yeah,
This is real life.
exactly.
The real important things.
Do you like a bit of smack talk on Xbox?
Sort of, but like I kind of play with some mates, so we don't really have anybody else's mics on. But if
Ah,
we do multiplayer,
yeah,
then usually, if
that's
especially
good.
for all our men, we'll give it some, we'll unmute everyone else and
Black Ops 1
have a
was
little
like the
go.
best for that stuff, man. Sometimes I still go
Oh
back to
yeah,
like Black Ops 1 and
old school,
just, yeah, just to
proper
relive some memories.
multiplayer chat.
Yeah.
It is great to know that when someone kills you, they can hear you after. That's quite satisfying.
Yeah, man.
So you can just say whatever, but then they've killed you, so they win,
Exactly.
really.
Just to get the last word in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get the last dig.
Thanks very much for doing this, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, all good. It's always good to just to chat and get the name out there somewhere else and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. Have we met in real life before? Real life?
I don't think so. No,
No, I don't think we
I
have,
don't know
right?
what constitutes as real life anymore because
This is true. Yeah.
this feels like real life.
Yeah, we're all in
Yeah, no, I
what's it
don't
called?
think
We're in the Matrix.
exactly. I mean, we might have. I used to play in a band called Fluorescent Hearts, and we
Okay.
toured like just the UK basically a good few
Yeah.
times.
Okay.
I mean, might have met through that, but not that I can recall off the top of my head. The first time you
Okay,
kind of
fair
came into
dues.
my like zeitgeist was like through the sort of Ella Henderson and The Voice
Okay, yeah.
era. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and like
Many
just
years ago, yeah.
other musicians that I was following, you were following, and stuff like that as well. So
Okay. Maybe we've got some mutual friends then or something.
yeah, it's like
Maybe somewhere.
American guys that like I follow. So I don't know if it's maybe
Okay, cool.
a couple of them. I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I was just kind
Okay.
of wanting to chat to you about just about your experience in the industry. That's kind of what I aim to do in this. Like I kind of like
Yeah. Yeah, because
blab
I
on
saw you do a few other podcasts.
Yeah,
Have they just been similar sort of people, musicians, artists, bands, and stuff like that?
yeah, man. It started like just some friends and stuff, and it's starting to kind of branch out a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah, I think everyone, I don't know if you do as well, but everyone my age seems to be watching like Joe Rogan and all that stuff as well. And
Yeah,
it's
I
like a
do watch
natural
quite a
kind
bit
of
of Joe Rogan.
influence that comes in from there, man.
Yeah, I
So,
mean it's a pretty niche, like well, not niche, but it's a great business opportunity if it goes right. Like
yeah,
he's obviously massive purely
it's
because of his podcast, bigger
exactly,
for
man.
that than any of his other things which he does.
Yeah. It's cool seeing how all those guys have like Joe Rogan, and there's another guy I follow called Theo Vaughn.
Okay,
He's
yeah,
another comedian, and like they've kind of like became like entrepreneurs in a way. Like they have
yeah,
their comedy and they have their business, which is their
yeah,
podcast and stuff, and it's all based around this kind of one hub. And I was like thinking
yeah,
when I've
yeah. It's
been
mad.
watching these guys over the past few years, thinking like it'd be cool to do something like that for music. Do you know what I mean? Because like it's sort of
Yeah,
it's so
yeah,
like strongly dependent on labels and the industry itself that there's not
yeah,
really
yeah,
been another way of doing it. If that makes sense. Like
yeah. No,
even
no,
the
I agree.
internet's like been totally taken over by labels and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, man, you got to have so much money to get out there.
Yeah.
Even with like advertising, I've done loads of research into Facebook marketing this week, and I remember when like Justin Bieber released a single like a year ago, and it came up as an advert, and I was like, damn, if Justin Bieber's still got to advertise his own songs,
Yeah.
then nobody stands a chance of like
Totally, man.
breaking through unless you put a little bit of money behind it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's horrible, man. I remember the days
But
where you
yeah,
could
no,
just like
it's a
upload
good.
a post and everyone would see it.
Yeah, yeah. Now it's
It's
ten
lost now.
percent 10% of your Instagram following see it. And if it
Yeah.
does well, they push it out to a little bit more.
Yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, I suppose you just got to roll with it and join them if you can't beat them. Is that the right saying?
I think so.
Something like
I
that.
think that's
But no, it's a good
exactly how it
idea.
goes. I'm,
That's exactly how it goes.
I'm just doing a wee bit of advertising here.
Nice.
Yeah. My girlfriend got me
So
that
your
for my
name's
birthday.
Chris Ashton
Chris,
is your
yeah,
name, and Crashton.
and I thought I'd
Clever.
just smash that together.
Yeah, nice.
Just smash the two names
It's
together.
all about the branding. All about the branding. Have you seen that Joe Rogan's done a deal with Spotify?
I have, man. Yeah, I don't know
That's
what to think
mental. They
about
must
it,
be
man.
paying him a fortune.
Yeah, I seen there's a guy called Tim Pool that he's had on a few times, and he reckons it's like about 100 million that he's going to. I don't think he'll get that straight up, but like through the
The sort of retainer sort of
yeah,
thing over a bunch of years. Yeah,
it's
Apple
crazy.
must be pissed
Oh, totally, man.
because in a way, like Apple made it possible for him to even do it with the podcast app.
Yeah,
I mean, if they were first, but like surely they made it more accessible.
I think so. I think probably the biggest problem is like um,
Actually,
maybe
YouTube, I suppose.
YouTube as well. Yeah, on the video side of things, like
Yeah.
those two platforms seem to be like creating like algorithms that are just based around this random like sort of cancelling and deleting of videos that mention any sort of like phrases and stuff like that. And I think that seems to be
Uh,
the thought process behind it. Like, and if he's on
yeah, I remember
Spotify,
hearing he had issues with copyright as well with YouTube.
yeah,
And if he ever uploaded something, their algorithm wouldn't let him. So they had to
yeah,
be really careful about what they said or did. Maybe that's why. And I can't remember if he said that Spotify are launching the video as well, or if it's just
yeah,
audio. I
they
can't
did
remember
say
what he
that
said.
actually. Yeah, so that I
Mm.
think they're only going to be uploading the clips to YouTube,
Right. Okay.
and the full length videos will only be available on Spotify. Which is weird.
My God.
It's either
Yeah.
going to like it's going to go one or two ways, isn't it? It's like everyone's either going to just stay on YouTube and he'll lose the audience, or everyone's
Yeah.
going to move away from it.
Yeah. I've been, as I said, doing loads of research into Facebook marketing with Spotify, and like looking at the countries that Spotify are in compared to Apple.
Hmm.
So this could bring more people to Spotify who can't get his podcast anymore, which is probably a
Totally.
good move for, because he's probably got more listeners than some artists, like major artists.
Oh, definitely.
I don't know how many subscribers he'd have, but like, must be millions, surely.
I think so. Yeah, across everything. It's weird because
Yeah,
it was YouTube that I discovered him on, but I know that he's been the audio podcast. I think was a lot bigger before the video. I think.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure which was first because I remember watching some of his old ones and they look so different from like 10
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
A lot more like this.
Yeah. Yeah. You look at he's got like this old studio, which just looks so different. And it's so grainy because it's such
Mhm.
old footage. But yeah, I remember delving into his old Neil deGrasse Tyson ones just to try and like.
Yeah.
I remember having a Joe Rogan phase where I would just try and watch as many as I could to try and learn some shit. But yeah, if someone had been on, I'd try and watch their first one. So Neil deGrasse Tyson's been on like 4 times. So I'd go and watch his first one first.
Yeah.
And it's like 12 years old or something.
Did you watch the
Yeah.
most recent one that Neil deGrasse Tyson was on
With Joe Rogan.
with Joe Rogan? Yeah.
I can't remember, but I remember him. Yeah, I remember it not going.
It was
I
really
remember seeing a
weird, man.
compilation of bits where Joe Rogan was really annoyed at him because he
Yeah.
kept interrupting him, which made me laugh. And then I watched them all. And I was like, wow, shit, he does talk
Yeah.
a lot over Joe Rogan.
It's strange, man. I think that it might have been like, I don't know if you remember, but Neil deGrasse Tyson sort of got caught up in the whole Me Too thing a few years
Oh,
ago,
did he?
and that was the sort of first thing that he'd done since he went away. And he like, I think he proved his case, and it all got dropped. But that was the
Maybe
first
he's
thing
trying
that he'd
to
done.
force his way back in.
I don't know, because Joe Rogan's quite like, he's not afraid to like ask questions. Do you know what I mean? And maybe there'd been a
Yeah, yeah.
conversation before it, and it said that don't talk about it or something. That's the vibe that I got from it anyway. Like when he's
Interesting.
putting
I
in,
didn't know that.
yeah.
Yeah, he
That's
did
what
put
I
in a
think.
lot.
That's what I think. Right?
Mate, that's going to
It
be on the
must be
news as
true,
soon as
man.
this launches. Breaking news.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good idea, man. I've got a friend who's doing a similar thing. He's also like an artist and guitar player, and he's just started doing his own podcast just to see if it goes somewhere
Yeah.
and hope that it's interesting to some, like-minded people or whatever.
Yeah.
A massive audience, massive market because someone's always listened to something to do. You know what I mean?
I think
Like I
so.
listen to
Yeah.
more podcasts and talk sport than music. I think now, just because I work in music so much, it's nice to not have to listen to music sometimes.
Yeah. Exactly, man. That's how I feel about it. Like I'm considering getting Spotify because Joe Rogan's got it, and I'm a musician. Do you know what I mean? Like I've
Yeah,
had
yeah,
every reason to have had Spotify for the past 10 years, and
but you haven't got it.
I haven't got it, and now I'm considering getting it just because of
Just
podcasts.
to Joe
Well,
Rogan.
Joe
Oh
Rogan,
man,
yeah,
you're one of the rare people I meet who hasn't got Spotify.
yeah. My
Hashtag you.
girlfriend's had it like for a while. I think she's got Amazon now actually.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She had it for ages, and I was like, oh, just
I mean,
use
it is
hers.
good. It's sort of like a necessary evil.
Yeah,
I sort of like don't agree with everything from when it started, but I think it's a bit better now. And there
yeah,
is so much music on there, and it's so easy to get on there. And their algorithms are good. If you start to do well, they'll help you out, which is great.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, you got to go with it. It's the future, really.
It's funny because like our generation grew up illegally downloading everything, and now
Yeah,
like,
and now we have to pay a tiny bit, and we're like, what?
yeah,
It's disgusting.
I know.
LimeWire, bring back LimeWire,
Oh, that was great, man. It was
old school.
Shazam the other one, shouldn't that? Or
Shazam's the one where
Kazam?
you Kazam, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I can't remember
There was a few.
any torrent things.
Yeah, uTorrent I think was the most recent.
Yeah, yeah.
Eh,
Brilliant.
so like how so like such a generic question, man, but I'm genuinely interested. Like, did you start out like sort of in your own bands and stuff? Like, was there a musician that you grew up with that you played in bands, or like, do you know what I mean? Or have you
Yeah, yeah.
learned your instrument and sort of started doing session
Um,
work?
no, me and my brother actually started in like orchestras, like school orchestras.
Right?
But we had like the area bands, which everyone does. Ours happened to be quite good for where we're from. So we did that like 3 times a week when we were in high school and all that, and then had like our own rock bands as well. But yeah, that was the sort of foundation for our learning. And then do your own stuff on the side as well, obviously.
Yeah.
and then both moved to London. He's older than me, but he does the same job, so he's a drummer. And yeah, sort of came to uni down here, and then just started gigging, and got a few lucky breaks along the way, really.
That's awesome, man. So how did was at the Ella Henderson gig, was that like the first sort of session thing that you'd done, or had you done stuff before that?
It wasn't the first one, but it was the first like big thing.
Okay.
I did my first proper session where you're like, paid properly and get to go cool places was a guy called Tricky, who used to be in Massive Attack. So I got a random call from a friend of a friend to come and dep on some gigs because the other drummer had just been sacked like a day before rehearsal started. And I think I had 40 songs to learn on the train to the rehearsal the next day. And like, it's a pretty crazy gig because you learn the songs, but there's no structure, no set list. The guy just calls the tunes and you just play and try and keep up. So it's a bit of a vibe. Really fun, really crazy. I did that for a few months, and then I got offered like through the same guy who looked after Ella Henderson, a tour with this band called Union J.
Oh yeah,
who were like an X Factor band from years ago.
I remember them.
Yeah, so that was my first like pop thing.
So do you know Casey? Casey Monroe, I think her name is.
Oh.
I think she might have been the manager at the time.
Sounds familiar. Maybe she was.
I'm sure she put the band together and then like sort of, I don't know if she sold them or whatever. Like, I don't know if that's her manager.
Because we only met one manager very briefly who was from like Psycho, I think.
Right.
The Sony company. So we didn't meet many, but maybe she was there. But yeah, maybe she sold them after. Sold them, yeah.
So sold her management share, I suppose.
Yeah. But yeah, so I did that, and then like through this MD who was looking after that gig, I just kept getting other little bits through him. So I went on to do a girl called Laura Welsh, who was less pop, more sort of cool indie electronic. And that's when I first started doing a lot of BVs and a lot of electronic work. So the guy I worked with, my sort of boss, really liked that, and we got along really well. And then the Ella Henderson thing came up, and it was auditions. And luckily I just happened to get the gig through an audition, basically. That's maybe amazing, and a lot of my friends were in the band, which was nice. So we're all auditioning at the same time, and then all luckily got the gig.
That's great.
And it was wicked. It was like, then that was like proper next level pop because she just had a #1 single.
Yeah.
Or I think as we started the gig, it went to #1. Then our album went to #1. So we got like 2 years off one song, just every week somewhere else around the world. But mainly doing cajon gigs, just trios.
Yeah.
Just like little acoustic shows because they were trying to do like radio and little showcases. And then we did 2 tours as well. One was with Take That, which was 46 shows, I think. And like it was 10 in the same venue. So it was just the easiest 3 months of our lives. We'd set up on the first day and never have to sound check again. Half an hour gig and then just enjoy the rest of the evening. Yeah,
that's amazing, man. Like that single was it Ghost?
That's the one.
So that was like the kind of big one. Like I do like a lot of acoustic gigs in like bars and stuff, and I still play that song, and it goes down so well.
Yeah.
I think that was written with Ryan Tedder.
In the set list. Yeah.
Ryan Tedder.
Apparently, it was the last song they wrote as well. Yeah, I am actually. I really like Ryan Tedder.
Yeah.
I like a lot of the songs he's written for other people as well. But I remember hearing "Apologize" first, like when I was a teenager, and thought that was wicked. And then they've always got a few songs here and there which I really like. But I'm a fan of him as a writer. I actually saw him once in the flesh and completely froze. I was in a coffee shop in LA, and he just walked past me, and I was like, "Shit, is that him?
Awesome.
That can't be him." And it was. And I was having a conversation. I should have left and just like spoke to him, but I wouldn't have known what to say. But yeah, he skated off into the distance.
That's crazy, man.
Cool guy.
Yeah. I've watched like the clips of like Songland because you can't really get the full episodes.
Oh yeah, that's the show he does. Yeah,
it's great, man. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of it actually.
It's brilliant. It's like guys will go in like guys and girls, whatever you identify as. I don't know.
Yeah.
You go in, and like they've got a song. So there's like 3 judges who are songwriters and producers, and then they've got a band. So like in one of the episodes, the band is One Republic, and Ryan Tedder's one of the judges and producers. So what happens is, like, the contestants will come in and they've got a song, and they'll go over it with the producer and the band, and then they go away with one of the producers and they rewrite the song for the artist. So it's pretty cool.
Right. Okay. So they enter with the song.
They enter with a song, yeah, and then it becomes
Yeah.
the main like themes and melodies of the songs usually there, but they
Okay.
like the one that they done with One Republic, they turned it into like a One Republic song, man. It was really cool.
Wow. That's a cool concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd never really seen any of that. I've seen on his Instagram about it though, and always wondered what it was like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Still got that kind of cheesy Americanism about it.
Entertainment show. Yeah.
But it's cool, man. It's definitely like
nice.
different from The Voice. It's a good wee segue.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah.
Yeah. I still like every now and then, man. Like I'll just be sitting. I get like dum in my head. I'll just hear it. It'll just be there.
Yeah, Dan, that was a weird time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I kind of forget that I've done it, but and I forget that other people know that I've done it. So when it comes to conversation, I was like, "Oh, you've seen it? Oh shit!" I thought that was just forgotten in the past. It's gone.
I'm just digging it up.
No, it's all good. Yeah, it was good fun though. It was quite a bit of an experiment, really, because at that point I didn't really know if I wanted to do my own music. And a friend worked on the show and said, like, you should try it. I was like, no, I don't do that. She's like, no, just come along. And then I came along, and then they knew like my backstory, so they just fast tracked me straight to the show, basically, from the first audition.
That's awesome.
Which usually is like 4 or 5 steps.
Yeah.
But yeah, in hindsight, I shouldn't have played the drums because it was pretty hard to play and sing at the same time.
I thought it was, see, because you're, as like an audience member, you're getting to see it happening. Like, it works so much better.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if they could actually witness your audition, the way that it was presented to the viewer.
Yeah, what they didn't show on the TV was that after it ended, they all turned around, and then I can't remember who it was. The guy from the script, maybe, or Tom Jones, was like, "Oh, you're playing drums?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, well, if we knew that, we would have turned around." And I was like, "Well, I suppose that's not the aim of the show, really." But yeah, so then I had to do it again for them so they could see it.
Right.
But yeah, it was very, very awkward. But it was a fun experience.
It's a shame, man. It was great though.
No, I'm kind of glad though, because like I remember sitting in a coffee shop before thinking like, should I even do this? Because at the same time, Ella had just been asked to do Letterman in America, and they completely clashed the voice dates and the Ella dates, and I probably would have chose the Ella gigs because I thought I've always wanted to do Letterman, like that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So if I got through, I probably would have had to back out anyway.
Yeah, so
it's kind of good that I didn't go through, but because then also I'm not known as much for going on The Voice, so it's just one little blip in the history of it.
Those shows are really strange in general, man. Like I've done a couple of them. One of them being The Voice, and and the other one everyone watches as well. It's just weird, man. Like, like growing up as a musician and going into it, you realise it's a completely different world from. Do you know what I mean? From what I'm used to.
It's all entertainment and mind games.
Yeah.
It's funny because, like, obviously my background, do a lot of gigs. I don't get like as nervous as the sort of, general public would be going on that show. So the day that we did it, we actually did a TV show with Ella the night before in London. Then me and some of the lads in the band, they came to watch. We drove up at like midnight. So I got there at like 2-3 in the morning, had to be up at 6 in the hotel that The Voice put you up in. So I was like, fuck, I mean, my voice is going to be trashed for singing.
Yeah.
Like, there's no chance I'm going to sing well on 3 hours sleep. At that point, I didn't know about like what to drink, what to eat. So I was just downing cups of tea and biscuits all day. thinking like, oh, this will be fine, and then get there
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh man, shit, caffeine's not good for you. Cup of tea and milk is not good
Yeah.
for your voice. But they kept coming up to me all day and they're like, are you okay? Are you nervous? I'm like, no, I'm all right. Because at the same time, I didn't really care about doing that well because it was a bit of fun and a bit of
Yeah.
just an experience to see what it was like. So I wasn't like attached to it. And like everyone else is there, like, oh my god, I'm so nervous. This is gonna be crazy. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm so tired. Please don't talk to me. I just want to chill before I go because I've had like 2 hours sleep. But yeah, it was definitely like trying to get in the head of everyone to probably see who's going to make the best TV backstage. Really, I probably
I
should have been
think,
more
yeah, I got the
extravagant
impression that
or
it's more about
more
that as
nervous or
well.
excited to get a bit more screen time.
Which I think is like fine as well, man. Like that, it is like the people that go in with the intention of being like that always do really well. So those people get what they want out of it, and the show gets what they want out of the person. So it
Yeah,
works out
exactly.
in the
It's
long
all
run.
quid pro quo.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm sort of glad in hindsight that it didn't work because I wouldn't want to have been known for it if it
yeah,
ever, if my music stuff, takes off. Hopefully, it won't be, remembered that much.
yeah.
What is quite funny is if you ever watch it and you listen to my voice compared to now, I had my tonsils out like 2 months
Right.
after,
Uh-huh.
um, because like they were literally like tennis
Gotcha.
balls in my throat. So I'd have like a sore throat every week. Like if you looked, they were literally like two, you know, bollocks at the
Yeah.
back of your throat. And so eventually, like the doctors let me have them out. And it was a bit of a risk. I
The
didn't know if my
tonsils.
voice was going to be, yeah, the tonsils. So I didn't know if it was going to like affect me in a bad way. I'd read like loads of stuff about singers like ruining their voice. And I read a thing about Josh Groban. He had the same problem. He had them out, and he said it improved his voice 100 times.
Wow.
And luckily, I think it did for me as well. Because if you listen back, it sounds like I've got a cold. And like there's old videos of like family or mates, and I talk, and it's like I'm talking with my nose closed,
Yeah.
which is quite interesting in a way.
Did they
Because now,
snip
if
your
people,
adenoids as well? Was it
what is
just
that the
a?
thing? The
I think that's
It was
like it's
just
connected
the
to your nose. So usually, like when they take your tonsils out, they'll take out the adenoids too, because like the adenoids
I have no
affect
idea.
your nasal like breathing and stuff like that. Causes like a
Ah,
lot of sleep apnea. It's like
I
my little
actually don't
boy,
know.
he's got like a similar thing like with his tonsils. We had to go into FaceTime to a doctor like a couple of weeks ago, and they've referred him
Oh,
to
really?
ENT for the same thing. Yeah,
Right. Yes, that's why I went through all of that, and I can tell you the quality of life after getting rid of tonsils, 100% better.
yeah.
Like
What
I
about
used to get a
sleep wise?
cold every week. Everything's better, man. Like
Yeah.
I'm not the best sleeper anyway, but I don't wake up. I used to wake up every day with a sore throat, dry throat, like they'd swell up and the breathing would be rubbish. Like I'd eat and you could, hear it because there's no room to breathe. But since then, like I could probably count the amount of colds I've had on one hand, and that was like 5 years ago that I had them out. And
That's
usually it was
crazy,
like
man.
one or two colds a month, easy, like a few days.
Really?
Yeah. So I
That's
recommend it. I've got
nuts.
a few singer friends who like ask me, like, should I have them out? And I'm like, 100%. Even if
Yeah.
you're not a singer, it like makes your life immediately better, I think. And
Just getting them out, man. It's
it's
everything.
painful. It's painful as fuck though.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
It's
was like a
supposed to be
month.
like worse the older you are as well.
Yeah, it was not. I would not recommend that. But
Mm.
yeah, it was 2 weeks in bed not talking, then 2 weeks of like they usually get infected after, which is just more pain because it's a mess in there anyway. So after a month, I could sort of talk, but I hadn't spoken, so my jaw had like forgot how to move. So when I
That's
started to
crazy.
talk to like friends on the phone, they were like, what are you talking about? Like who are you?" Because I don't know, my voice, my jaw just didn't work. It had to like
Yeah.
have a month of practicing how to actually talk again. Um, yeah, which was quite fun.
That's
Yeah,
amazing, man.
yeah, it was weird,
Who is
but it
this?
definitely makes life better, I think, and makes voices better,
Yeah.
especially if people are super nasal. And yeah, I think it's better.
So you were talking about like you were eating and drinking like all the wrong things before. Like, do you gig now under your own? Like, do you do your own gigs?
I've done a few little ones,
Yeah.
or I sometimes like front some covers bands here and there for practice when I'm not drumming.
Okay.
Um, but it's more for, I suppose, recording now. I know what to eat and drink, or
Yeah.
like how to warm up and how much to eat and drink. I still like sometimes once I realized that you should and shouldn't eat, like don't eat chocolate, don't eat cheese, have zero dairy. I remember thinking, fuck, this is so boring because they're all the best things
Yeah.
in life. And I'd
Totally.
get to a session where I was recording thinking, fuck, I just love a coffee. I'd love a latte and a chocolate bar. And if the session didn't go well, I'd be like, I should have just ate that shit and made myself feel better. So now I'll make sure I like in the morning have some nice stuff, have
Yeah.
coffee, or a biscuit or whatever. And then
Just
I
wait
mean
it
the
out.
most important thing is yeah, exactly. Wait out and drink water for 2 hours, basically. Because apparently it takes 2 hours for water to get into your system and hydrate your throat. So like
Really?
you can drink water, but it's actually how the water enters your body and hydrates it from the inside, if that makes any sense. So
Yeah.
it's not like splashing your vocal cords, obviously. So as long as you've
Sure,
got
it
two
does make
hours
sense.
of
It's just that I don't, I don't receive information well. So if people watching this will be like, oh, that makes sense, but like,
fair enough. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know what that was a random tangent, but yeah, I can't remember where I was going with that. Yeah.
I think we're just talking about like taking care of your voice in general and like your
Yeah. I've
own
got like a
gigs.
steamer I use and plenty of water
Oh, people keep
on
telling me about
recording
this, man. I
days.
really need to go on it. Like,
Yeah, I've got
when
one of these things, but
cool.
but at the same time, some people have told me that steaming is actually not good for your voice, and you should get is it a vaporizer?
Yeah.
Because this is hot steam, which technically burns your vocal cords, but a vaporizer is just cold, so it doesn't burn.
Uh-huh.
But Ella Henderson used this every second of every day when we were on the road, and she always sounded great.
Yeah.
But I think it's good for after, especially to warm down your vocals.
Did you play on that record, the first one? Or was
No,
it?
no, it's
So
all
it was
just live stuff. So it was all done
right. Okay.
before I even met her, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. But yeah, they
That's
rarely
cool, man.
cross over really. Or it seems in this industry, like live in the studio don't really blend that much
Yeah.
unless you're really into the studio stuff.
Okay. So like,
Yeah.
there's like a set, maybe not like set guys, but like there's people that just sort of like gravitate towards
Yeah, sort of.
studio
A few
recording.
people do
Yeah.
both, but like there's because I think if you put yourself in a producer's shoes, if you know a drummer sounds good, you're not going to get a different drummer every time. So there's
Yeah.
like a few key people who basically all get all the sessions really.
That's pretty
Um,
cool.
and fair dues to them because it's an area where it needs consistency. If you're good enough, you'll get called again. If not, you won't, I suppose.
Yeah.
And some people prefer that to doing live stuff because you get to stay at home and you know. But yeah, there's a few people who make the crossover. I've done a bit for. I drum for a guy called Rhys Lewis now, who's an artist and also a mate. So I've been in the studio with him and played on a few of his tracks, um, which is good fun.
That's awesome, man. Like that was like one of the most recent places I'd seen you. Like there's been a
Oh
few
really?
times over the past like few years, where I've been like watching like live line sessions and it's you playing drums. I mean like
Oh
there's the Craig David one.
yeah, man.
And
I had a
then
period of doing loads of live lounges. I don't know how. Like
yeah,
just random artists. So I wouldn't even gig with. I'd just be in there for the live lounge, which worked quite well.
yeah.
But yeah, oh, that's cool though. Yeah, the Craig David one was fun.
That's
The
awesome, man.
most viral live lounge ever, apparently, or something
Oh,
because of his
really?
rap. Yeah,
Oh yeah. That's
and because it was
crazy,
his
man.
comeback, obviously as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
So
was good fun.
like when it comes to sort of those sessions, like when you're like if you're like gearing up for a tour, do you have like a kind of any sort of creative input to what you bring to the songs, or are you required to sort of like play as the record is? Does that make sense?
A bit of both really. Like so with Ella Henderson, we had an MD who did all the arranging. so we just played what we were told. We'd occasionally like throw in a few bits here and there, and work out something together. With Craig David, it was just me and my housemate at the time, and Craig in his hotel room working out a lot of the songs. So we'd sort of do it together. And similar for I've been playing for Sagala recently. We had to do a live lounge, and it was the same guy I did with Craig David, my old housemate Aaron, and we sort of just arranged the live lounge together for Sagala because he was busy doing other stuff. So we'd like put it together, and then get in a room and play it out, and he'd do his thing on top of it, and then mold together really. But yeah, sometimes it's just like play what you're told. Sometimes it's a bit more creativity.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's good
Pretty
fun.
cool.
It's good
Sounds
doing
like
a bunch of
less-
different stuff.
I do a lot of like weddings and cover gigs and stuff, man. And sometimes it becomes like quite stagnant and regimented.
Yeah,
And I
same
miss
man.
like
Yeah, I still do that stuff. The bread and butter gigs.
yeah.
People always coming in. Always good to have them there. I'm just gonna grab some water, but I can still
Cool. No
still
worries.
hear you.
No worries, man. I'll drink some water while you're getting some water. So I was checking out your "Say It Back" song.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yes.
seen that it reached over 200,000 streams. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's just on Spotify, is that right?
Yeah, I think that's just on Spotify. I think Apple Music's maybe like excuse me, around 100K, but I'm not too sure.
That's amazing, man.
But yeah, it's nice. It's my biggest one yet, really. I'm not sure if that recorded, but maybe. But yeah, it's nice to sort of hit that benchmark, and hopefully it'll just grow and carry on going.
So is that like the main goal to be like would you be happy doing session drumming, or like do you want to be doing your own music?
I mean, yeah, at the moment, if I could just do my own music, that'd be great. Maybe sort of sign publishing, or as an actual artist. Yeah, if I could become self-sufficient from just that, it'd be great. And obviously, just there's no glass ceiling, because the session stuff's amazing and really fun, but it seems like a lot of the time you hit a point where you can't go any further, unless you like move to America and sort of start again in the industry, really. But it's not that easy to do. Can't really get a drum kit on a plane that easily. So yeah, and sort of always had a passion for this, and thought, if you've got the, don't know, like if you've got the ability in an egotistical way, but if you can do something, then you have to try and do it. To benefit yourself, the world, family, whatever.
200,000 people.
Yeah,
that are listening on Spotify.
Or somebody listening to it 200,000 times.
Yeah.
One person.
That guy, he deserves a gig.
Exactly. Yeah. But at the same time, the session stuff's so much fun, and like, if you're on the road, it's great fun. It's just, unfortunately, it always comes to an end, and there's no sort of security.
Right.
I guess there's no security in being an artist unless you get a huge record deal. But I suppose you try and see what happens.
Yeah. So the Rhys Lewis gig, did you say that he was a friend before you done the gig? Is that right?
No, he wasn't a friend before. I got asked to an audition by the same guy who did the Ella gig.
Right.
And asked me if I wanted to come down to it. And I remember walking in the room and thinking, "Oh, I recognise you." And we'd actually played football together, because we had a bunch of mutual friends in like a musicians football group in London. So yeah, we just like played in the room and got on really well, got the gig, and now, I mean, probably 3 years later, and now we're sort of like really good mates, as opposed to being colleagues. Like, the gig is just good bit of fun every now and then, being with mates. Now it's more like he's actually a friend rather than, so if the gig ended, I'd still be mates with him, basically.
That's cool, man. Which
is quite nice. And then he's doing really well, and I was lucky to sort of write with him. He wrote "Say It Back" with me, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I had the idea for the chorus, and then we got in a room and finished it together. But yeah, I played on a few of his tracks. Weirdly, when I was moving house recently, I went to like the marketing suite for the place we were looking at, and I heard some music. I was like, I recognise that. What is that? And it was me playing on one of Rhys's tunes, just on a random sound system, which is so strange. Never happened before. I didn't think it would happen because like Rhys is he's still growing. He's growing pretty big. But yeah, he was just randomly on this person's playlist he was working on in like the coffee shop or something. Which is
he's
super
great, man.
Strange.
He was another.
Yeah, he's wicked.
I was listening to before. I seen you in one of the live sessions. Like,
great,
man.
Yeah.
There's
he's talented.
A song in particular, man. I'm trying to remember what it's called, just so I can tell you. What is it? Bad Timing is the name of the song. So
okay, yeah.
It's great.
They don't do that one live as much anymore. Yeah, it's a great tune. He's got a lot of tunes as well. A lot of ones that don't get enough recognition.
His career was sort of the same level when Lewis Capaldi started. They seem to have done similar things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they know each other like from before Lewis Capaldi went massive, obviously.
Right.
And a lot of people said it was like either Rhys, Lewis Capaldi, or like somebody else. There's like a few male artists around that level doing acoustic guitar stuff.
Yeah.
And any one of them could have shot off, and then Capaldi just happened to have that monster song.
Yeah. And talking about excrement and wearing sunglasses.
And also being comedic genius. He's a funny guy.
I was talking to someone recently, like about how like that crossover seems to be working really well now. Like, and like the whole podcast thing, I think, is the reason why artists are able to get in different ways. Like being funny. Do you know what I mean? Like Lewis Capaldi could probably like book like every stadium in the country and just do stand up
and just
people
tell jokes. Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's crazy, man.
The only problem is now every artist is trying to be as funny as Lewis Capaldi.
Yeah,
but nobody is because he's hilarious. So
that's what you need to do. You need to do the opposite. You need to go out and just be the most serious guy.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what's next. That's what's coming next, man.
I often consider when I'm writing like an Instagram caption, I'm like, is this as funny as Lewis Capaldi, or is it to go down a different route? Like everyone's trying it. Mm-hmm. Got to be smart.
It's got to be someone who takes it too far as well. Be that guy.
Yeah.
Be the guy who gets banned from everything.
Yeah, that'll get on the newspapers. That's the way to do it.
Most famous musician in the world gets banned on every platform. There's no way of buying your music.
For a live video of him taking a shit. Sorted.
Yeah.
And now he's number
one.
It's
funny because that's what I was already thinking. I was like, that's exactly what you'd do.
It's what we're always all thinking. No one ever says it or does it.
So what?
I'll do it next.
What time are you getting to sleep at when you're playing COD?
Oh, it's been bad. It started. I think the first day I played it, me and my mate did like 15 hours straight, which was just terrible because we hadn't played Call of Duty in years, and we saw it as a free game. It's like we're in lockdown.
Oh no, man!
Let's just bash it out. And now there's like a whole bunch of musicians who are like some friends, and we're like, yeah, we just got like a WhatsApp group. Who's on? And then we'll just join a quad. But I'm trying to control it and get to sleep at a reasonable time around 3 o'clock.
Oh, don't do it, man. Don't do it.
Sometimes it's been the sunrise, which is both beautiful and sad. But I've had to try and curl it back this week because there's builders downstairs and they woke me up yesterday morning at 8 o'clock with a power drill basically inside my head. And they did the same this morning. So I had to like get up and get headphones and try and sleep with headphones on because it was so loud. So I'm terrified of going to bed late tonight.
That is the most annoying part of the lockdown. I'll be talking to someone else about that as well, like about how like every dad is out like repairing something right now.
Yeah, like, which because it's like an actual contractor downstairs, like doing something. There's like a shop sort of restaurant vacant unit below, which is new, which someone's doing up.
Right.
And there's been nothing in there for like months, which is great. But now that builders are allowed to go back to work, they've got them in straight away, fucking 8 o'clock in the morning, drilling into the floor.
Oh yeah,
like
user like
power
a different stage from us, man. I forgot about that. We're still like
Oh yeah, we've like
being
fucking
forced to
everyone's
stay
out and
home.
about here. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
We did have like
Um,
a sneaky barbecue today, a social distancing barbecue with the family.
hilarious.
Um,
Throwing sausages across the front.
yeah, hot ones as well, man. Hot sausages. Um, yeah, it's crazy, isn't it, man? Totally different.
Yeah.
It's funny because we're talking about like the music industry as if it like still exists, but it's like like non-existent right now.
Yeah, you know, it's
Yeah,
weird. Like the lockdown hasn't been so terrible for me personally because I've got all my stuff set up so I can try and be productive. The
yeah,
most annoying thing is that I haven't been as productive as I should because of fucking Warzone. Um, but if that game didn't exist, I'd have been so bored for the last
yeah.
8 weeks. So it's a fine balance. But I think it's good for writers and stuff if you can afford to not have to work, which luckily if you're self-employed then you get the sort of grant thing.
Yeah.
But if you can work from home, then it's a great time to be productive. Live musicians, then we don't even know if we'll gig this year again.
Yeah. There's
Had a bunch
someone.
of festivals booked which have been like already moved to next year, completely cancelled. All know like autumn tours moved to spring, summer next year.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Nuts,
it's
man.
mad.
Because they're like considered like super spreaders or something that they're calling them. Like,
Yeah, any events, I suppose.
yeah.
Yeah, if you go to an arena with 20,000 people, it's probably not the best idea.
Should be fine like one of my gigs. It's only like 3 people that come. Like,
It's good to even get to do gigs.
yeah.
I'm not sure anyone would turn up to mine yet, but
I'm
yeah.
sure they would, man. 200,000?
Well, that one person who streamed the song 200,000
Exactly.
times,
He'll be there.
they'll be
He'll be
there.
there 200,000 times.
Yeah, sorted.
Amazing.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it all comes out the other side, and if there are gigs this year. There's always weddings and stuff, but when are people gonna get married? There's bar gigs when they reopen, but will bars, want to spend money on live music when they've had no income for 6 months?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
it's
you do
interesting.
that on the side as well? Do you do like bar gigs and stuff?
Yeah. So I pretty much do more bar gigs than sort of pop stuff at the moment.
Okay.
Purely it's a little bit easier while I'm writing and trying to record, like it's less time away. So
Yeah.
have some consistent London gigs, and then the daytimes I can write, be productive, whatever. But yeah, so no, I still do all of that as it's needed.
Yeah.
Hopefully won't have to eventually, but you never know. You gotta be sensible and keep doing it. And
I
then
think it's
gigs are
just a
hard to
good
find, so
a
if you
good way
get
of
one,
keeping grounded as well. Like,
oh yeah,
I spoke to someone called Joe Gallagher who plays guitar for a band called Johnny Mack and the Faithful. They just toured with Rod Stewart. They done like
well,
I don't know if it was just the UK dates that they done. They might have done some of Europe as well. But he still does like he said he came off that tour and he was playing like he was playing basically a corner glorified karaoke machine like to like
yeah.
3 people,
Well,
and it
like
like
I've
it's
known people who've said they're never going to do a function again when they get a big gig, but then when that gig ends, they got no work.
yeah
And functions, bar gigs, whatever, it's the sort of shit that just is always there if you do it. And when you come off a tour and you need money, then
exactly
you've got it if you keep the contacts and stay level headed and don't be a dick.
totally, man. It is good, man. It's good. Like the band that I was in before, like we'd done tours, and I was always really apprehensive about doing weddings. Like I suppose it just gets a kind
Yeah,
of bad rap, just when you're younger. I think because you have this
yeah.
ridiculous
Well,
idea of
no one
becoming a
wants to
rock
do
star.
it. Yeah, and I don't think people. I mean, some people enjoy it. It's not that it's not fun, but if people didn't have to do it, I don't think they would unless it's like their full passion.
Yeah,
And it's not obviously not always the coolest of gigs to do, but I suppose if you need money and it's good practice as well. Like a lot of
I
the
think so.
good arrangement shit I learn and chops just practice on
Yeah,
weddings and when I was young. Yeah,
that,
gig's a gig,
that was
really.
one of the things I was going to ask you about. Like the person that I started learning guitar and like singing with was a drummer, and we've been in like bands together like my whole life, basically, my whole music life. And like I was asking him like what would you be interested in, like kind of for me to ask, and he was like kind of interested in like what your setup's like does it vary
Okay.
from artist to artist? I don't know if you heard that there. I totally done an inside suppressed burp, like and it went back down. It was weird. You totally hear that on the mic. Yeah, so he was like interested in your setup and whether you use uh, like pads, like electronic pads,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
wood
Um,
instruments.
depends on the gig, really. Um, one of the first big like hybrid setup gigs I did was this girl Laura Welsh, where I was standing up and I had like kick drum snare, some cymbals, SPDS, and a bunch of pads just to try and make it really interesting. Um, and then some other gigs I've done have just been straight ahead drums. Like Ella Henderson, there was a bit of electronics, but a lot of it was just drums, which is nice.
Yeah,
I think some other ones. Busted sometimes was just like straight ahead drums, which was great. But then half the set they had this weird electronic stuff, which was great fun as well. And then
so were you touring with them during? Because they had an album that was all like sort of kind of more electronic.
electronic.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
is it
that's the
on that
campaign
album?
I did. Yeah, which was weird. Some weird songs. Um, and luckily it didn't go too electronic. There's like I had an SPDS and maybe one or two pads, but we tried to keep it live, which was
Yeah,
good. It's way easier.
that's cool.
Um, but then on the Rhys gig at the moment, I've got like kick, snare, floor tom, a few cymbals. I've got my SPDS, maybe another pad, like another floor pad, and a synth bass to play on a few songs.
That's cool,
Because
man.
there's only three of us and he doesn't want to use any tracks, so we've got to
Mhm.
recreate all songs with just six hands. So there's some songs where I have to play synths with my left and try and drum with my right, which is really fun, really
Mhm.
hard and undeppable completely.
Yeah,
But when I go back to normal gigs, I'm like, shit, I missed the challenge of trying to get it all together. It's like a steam train. Once it goes, you have to just keep the momentum and the
yeah,
muscle memory. Um, but yeah, I suppose it varies from gig to gig, really.
that's awesome, man. I'm going to tell Gary's his name. I'm going to be like, you need to start learning bass, synth bass.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you want to
Just
do
a few
this, man.
notes with your left hand. Yeah, I've never had to do it before. I'm not sure I'd volunteer to do it again, but it is quite fun. It is enjoyable once you get into it, or you get a satisfying bass patch to play.
Yeah.
One of them I have to play like a chord, and it's so hard, and I always mess it up. It must sound terrible. One little note wrong, little thing
Uh,
just slips off. Oh,
I think that's like what would freak me out about it, man. Like I'm comfortable like doing my own music. Like I think if I
yeah,
got offered to like even like see doing session work for like a wedding band, like as a guitarist, I don't think I could do
yeah.
it because I just know like if I was sitting there, like see like the live lounge thing, if I was like sitting there playing guitar, even if it was just three chords, I'd be like
Oh,
I'd
mate,
fuck
I'm
it
the
up.
same with piano. Like, I did a few functions on piano, and like I can play a bit, but I can't play enough to carry a gig. And like, I just did it with some mates for fun. And I remember sitting there thinking, my mind has just gone to jelly. I don't even know what any chord is anymore. And I just
Uh,
stand there thinking, fuck, what is it that one? Is it? And I
Demo
hit it
button,
wrong. Like, fuck.
put a samba
Play
beat on
one
the
note.
demo.
Yeah, exactly. Easy
We
way
worked.
out.
Yeah. Are PDs still a thing?
PDs. Oh
PDs
yeah.
like
Yeah, yeah. I think they're I think they'll always be a thing. It just depends if you get a good amount or a rubbish
yeah,
amount.
I
In
suppose
the
yeah.
UK, it's pretty small. In America, it's massive. You get like $100 a day or something ridiculous.
Wow.
In England, it's like 15 quid.
Hmm.
Apparently, to survive on. It's worse than universal credit. But
That's on top of your fee though. So I think that there'll be some people like that will be watching that I think like that haven't done like any touring or anything like that. So like
yeah,
a
yeah,
PD is like a per diem fee that the label would give you. Is that right? Like to sort
yeah,
of see
sort of. Yeah,
through.
it's your expenses so you don't use your fee to live. So like you maybe get £15 a day for all your meals. Sometimes you'll get catering, sometimes you'll get a meal at a festival.
Mhm.
And usually if it's outside of London, you'll get £15 for lunch or breakfast or whatever. It is good. I sound super ungrateful when I started this conversation. They are great. But like some of my friends do like American gigs and they're getting like $100 a day on top of their fee.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? And usually they're playing for big artists, so they get all their shit paid for anyway. So you just
Because you need to buy those sneaks.
exactly.
Buy sneaks, man.
Well, mate, some tours. One of the first tours I did, like, it was on a tour bus. There was catering, so there's always food around.
Mhm.
And then, like 2 weeks in, the tour manager comes up to us with an envelope of cash. He's like, "Oh, this is your PDs," and we're like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, because we're all quite young. Like a few of us, it was our first gig." He's like, "Yeah, it's your PDs," and I'm like, "Oh, didn't think we're getting any." He was like, "What? No, everyone gets them." So everyone would just get this free cash because, like, rarely on a day off you'd buy food. But like it's a day off every 3 or 4 days, so you're not spending that much money. So the PDs is sort of like
Yeah.
pair of trainers every 2 or 3 weeks.
And I like your hotel fee. Take it that's covered by the label as well before
Yeah,
your own
yeah.
fee. Yeah.
Again, different levels. Like some gigs you have your own room, some gigs you're in 3 or 4 in a room,
Yeah.
and it's like being on a shit school trip. But
Oh,
you know,
I would
gig's a
love
gig.
that, man. My favourite times were being in a room with the rest of the guys. Man.
You know, it's with Rhys, it's really fun because we take the Switch and we just smash Mario Kart all day.
Yeah.
So it's like being on the road with mates, which is great. Other gigs, if you don't get along with people, luckily I've always got along with people I'm with, but I've heard horror stories where you're stuck in a room for 2 months with someone you don't like,
Oh,
and then I think there's like a level of, you know, what people would ideally want, and you know, you got to do a gig, so you just got to take it how it is.
yeah. It's crazy,
Mm.
man. And in terms of traveling, do you travel in a bus with them, or do you travel yourself?
Again, all different, really. Like, I suppose if you're on I suppose it depends on the level. Like, yeah, you can go from like splitter vans touring around for a week to a tour bus and hotels and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like with Ella, it was usually actually also depends on the tour because this Take That tour we did, it was just we were basically in a Mercedes van and then we had hotels because there was no traveling because it was all in one city for 2 weeks. Then we move on. But like
All
usually
right.
on a tour with Busted, say there was a tour bus for 3 days, then a hotel on the day off, tour bus again, then hotel day off. With Rhys, it's sort of in that splitter van phase. Phase, is that the right word? Yeah. His
Phase.
level is not doing huge tours of the tour bus yet because it's not cost effective. So
Yeah.
hotels and splitter vans in the daytime, which is a lot of fun, can be grueling because like driving across Europe for 12 hours in an uncomfy splitter van. But it's
That's
also
like
fun.
that's the point where
It's all
someone gets
part of the
naked. Someone in the band would
yeah.
always get naked, man, when we were in the van.
That's where it gets weird, and you have to sign NDAs. Not allowed to
And it's
talk about
usually
what
the
happens
drummer,
in the
man.
van.
It's
Yeah,
usually the drummer.
exactly. Can't talk about it.
Yeah.
What happens in the van stays in the van.
Exactly. Yeah.
But there's also been gigs I've just driven to myself, like because I lived out of London for a bit, so I'd have to just sometimes meet gigs around wherever. Sometimes it's just not worth driving to London to get on a tour bus to then go back past my own house. Yeah, a bit of everything really. All different levels of fun and comfort levels.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Keep your endurance up for
Oh
cycling.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You come back after a gig and everyone's ill straight away because you've sort of built it all up after 2 weeks in a split van.
I was talking to a couple of episodes ago. My friend Chris Gregg. He like does his own. He's got a band called Chris Gregg and the Merchants, and he's like a massive Charlie Simpson fan. So he'll be like buzzing.
Oh, nice.
I'm talking to you, man. But
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
like how did that thing like come about? Like doing the Busted gig.
Originally I was depping for someone, and it just went well. And then the person I was depping for couldn't do it because they were in a different band. So I sort of just inherited the gig, and then luckily, that all happened 2-3 weeks before their rehearsals for their tour were starting. So I went from having no gig before Christmas to then just after Christmas getting this gig, which started first week of January, which is amazing. And yeah, just going straight into it, really. Quite a lucky turn of events, but I suppose that's just how the music industry goes sometimes. You just got to wait for that little break, and hopefully it pays off.
Yeah. So you'd have been like the only other musician other than the guys in Busted? Is that right?
No, at first there was me and another guitarist, keyboard player, a guy called Nick. So that was fun having somebody else there, because if not, once he stopped playing, I was just on my own at like gigs while they were doing interviews or whatever, just sitting around waiting for the show. But the first tour we had like drums, guitar player, and a sax player. Weirdly, because that album was bizarre and electronic and had saxophone.
Yeah.
So this guy would just run on stage for random choruses, like 6 songs in a 20-song set. He'd just run on, rage a solo, then leave and have like 20 minutes off, come back on, do it again.
That's a good gig, man.
He had the easiest life. Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, his hourly rate was much higher than everybody else's. Or his per song rate.
Yeah, I'd be charging through the roof, man, to be the running on sax guy.
Exactly. That's where the real show kicks in.
What about like when you're? I know you're saying like a lot of these gigs are sort of just through friends and sort of word of mouth and stuff. But like, do you have like a show reel that you like throw to them when you get offered it? Do you know what I mean? Or is it literally just?
I've got like a CV, like a musician CV, so it doesn't have like my GCSEs on, but it has gigs I've done, and I've tried to make it look cool, and like different from a normal CV. It's sort of like a poster, really.
Yeah.
Anything to sort of stand out when you're going for an audition. So usually an MD or someone would say, "Oh, can you send your CV over, or send some pictures or some videos, so I can put you forward for this manager?" Blah blah blah. And yeah, I suppose it's half the battle, really, because you got to get noticed somehow. Or
is that
especially
like
when you're younger and coming through.
Like, do you mean like? Is it literally like a JPEG, like an actual picture, or is it like a more of a press kit, like online thing?
It's like it's a PDF of maybe like 2 pages with like a picture and some text, like my gear, the gigs I've done, sort of contact information.
Yeah.
I like to think I started a little trend in London, because I don't think anyone else had done it. Like, they were sending proper CVs, and I thought, I've got to have a way of standing out. So I made this document it was like a picture of me on stage, I think, and I faded it up, and then you could have the text above, so it looked like a movie poster or something.
Yeah.
And it was like,
that's cool.
Clear, like there was no. I used to have like a CD with like, "Hello, my name's Ross," and blah blah blah. And then someone told me, I was like, no one gives a fuck about all that shit. They just want to see what you look like, what you've done, and if you're trustworthy and professional, basically. So that's when I scrapped everything and just put information in big bold text, like, this is what I do, this is the instruments I play, these are the people I played for. And I sent it to a few people, like, oh my god, that's such a good idea. And then all of a sudden, a lot of similar sort of CVs started flying around, which is quite cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, so some people ask for a CV and I send them that, and then you hope you get an audition, whatever, or hope you get a gig. But yeah, one of the ways of getting it, I suppose.
That's cool, man. I know another, like, sort of through friends, know another drummer. His second name escapes me. His name's Michael. He's playing drums for Youngblood just now, and I think he was playing for Lewis Capaldi when he sort of was first touring.
Michael, is he Scottish?
Yeah, Scottish. Yeah.
Yeah, so I heard about the guy who left the Lewis Capaldi gig. Maybe it's the same guy then.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Michael. I just can't remember his name. There's a band up here called the Dakinis that were big around like 2005, between 2005 and 2010. And Michael's like old band, like his original band, were like named after a Daikini song and stuff. So like, yeah, he's just someone that's always done really well and just gravitated towards the right people and stuff as well. Nice. I just didn't know whether you knew him or not because he's a drummer.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I knew his surname, perhaps. But I've never actually known who played for that Youngblood guy. But it sounds like the guy who I know some of the people who do the Lewis Capaldi gig and some of the crew. I know the drummer who does Lewis Capaldi now a little bit. I remember asking someone like, "Oh, he wasn't on the gig before. Like, well, who did it?" And they said, "Oh, some Scottish guy." So that must be him, I suppose.
Yeah. I wish I could remember his name, man. I don't know. He's from like the same area as me.
Okay, where are you from?
20 minutes outside Glasgow. It's a place called Cumbernauld.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
cool.
So he's from like the same place, the same town. Yeah, I cannot remember his name.
No worries. I'll try and Google him later.
Yeah. Awesome, man. I'd written down some stuff as well, like to ask you. Like I was trying to like stay away from doing that because I kind of just wanted to like chat.
Just conversate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually kind of asked you everything. I wrote Muscle Shoals documentary for some random reason.
Oh, nice.
You might have seen like the
yeah, it's wicked. The first time I saw it, I was blown away.
Yeah. I think that in fact the reason behind that was kind of what you were talking about, like with the studio session work, and like those guys in the Muscle Shoals documentary are like they all played on like some of the greatest records of all time. And it's just like a bunch of white guys. So I guess there's like a correlation there, like between. I think like like is it like
weren't they a band like together?
I think
then
so.
They happened to do the studio stuff.
Yeah.
So they sort of transitioned from live stuff to studio, and then was sort of like the studio house band, which is pretty cool.
It's awesome. Like you don't even hear about that now. Well, not up here anyway.
Yeah, like, it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Everyone's a producer on a laptop now. See
Etta James album and stuff.
And Aretha Franklin's first stuff as well.
Yeah.
I might watch that again, actually. It's a good documentary.
It's brilliant. Yeah. I wish I'd written more there. I wish like just had a thought on like Muscle Shoals.
There's another one I saw, but I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, about a similar thing. Maybe it's about the Funk Brothers. I don't know. But yeah, no, that is a good one. I might have to watch that again, revisit it. I can't remember the guy's name, the drummer of Muscle Shoals.
Yeah. Oh, I can't remember either, man. I'm like really bad. Like the wedding band sort of like forced me into having to rediscover or discover, I should say, like music in a way. I grew up really selfishly ignoring like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and all that stuff. I just like spent a decade listening to Blink-182 and thought that'll deal with my music career.
Exactly.
And I'm kind of having to unfold all of that stuff now.
Well, man, I realised when I started doing functions that I knew most of the songs purely from going to family parties in like the 90s and 2000s. Like all the disco and soul stuff. I was like, I recognise this. Because I heard it when I was like 9 years old, maybe. Like early Stevie Wonder stuff and whatever, ABBA.
It's funny that you were saying like about influencing your songwriting, because like when you're out singing like Stevie Wonder songs like every night or whatever, like it totally does affect that. You know what I mean? It becomes the structure and the way the songs are written just becomes embedded and when you go to sit down and write, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, any experience will affect it, really. Any song that you hear. Sometimes I look back on my old stuff and realize later what influences I took, if that makes sense. Like when I was writing, I didn't realize I could hear something in my head from a different song. But yeah, no, I think anything shapes you musically that you do, really.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Totally, man.
Yeah.
I think I usually keep these at like an hour, man. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's been an hour. Sure.
Nice. Oh yeah, I thought it'd been like way longer than that, man. Which is fine as well, man. But
extended cut.
Yeah, exactly. Director's cut. Get those balls getting removed or whatever. Tonsils.
Yeah, exactly.
The graphic version.
And videos of shitting. Nice.
Videos of shitting and camping and Warzone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Getting near that time, actually. Needed to get boots on the ground, getting that plane, dropping to Verdansk.
Me too, man. The last time I done like one of the Zoom call episodes, like someone invited me to a party and you could hear it like going in the background there. So I've like turned the volume down. I don't know if anyone's
nice.
Anything.
I think my WhatsApp group, some people have started to play.
Nice.
Nearly
Thanks
time.
very much, man, for doing this.
Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, pleasure. It's always good to just chat and, get your name somewhere else in the world for someone to perhaps discover music or, get something informative out of it, if it is informative.
Awesome. I'll have this up like probably the next week or so.
Okay, sweet.
Do you want
me to send you this audio file as well of my mic?
Yeah, if that's cool.
Sweet. It cut out like 2 or 3 times, but I just click record straight away. So I'll put a little noise in. Just so when you line it up, if there's a noise, it might get out of sync after.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
It's like 4 separate audio files with a tiny gap.
Okay. Thanks,
but I think like it carried on playing, so I just clicked record and it started again. But yeah, I'll pop a little snare or something in there.
I'll keep that.
Yeah, when I was doing gigs, and
the weirdest one will be like when you get up to go and get a drink of water.
Yeah, exactly.
Just have the constant snare, me talking to the snare. That'll be good.
Yeah.
Nice one. Hopefully we could do like an episode once lockdown's like proper lifted. We could, if you're ever up here.
Yeah, man.
We could do one in person, or if I'm down there as well. There's actually there's a guy that like helps produce these, like when I'm not doing them like this. And we were talking about trying to get down to London to do like some stuff down there, just because like a lot of people tend to gravitate towards London, like for doing UK tours or whatever.
Yeah, fair dues.
But yeah, thanks very much for doing this, man.
Pleasure, man. Yeah, nice to chat.
Yeah. Do you want to let everyone know your handles, actually?
Oh, yeah. Ross Harris on Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. There's also another Ross Harris who's an 80-year-old classical composer from New Zealand. That's not me. That's been an issue. There's also a child killer called Ross Harris in America. Seen that, man.
Yeah.
So that was fucking great. As soon as I went to the voice, this guy left his kid in a car.
Oh.
So when you still Google Ross Harris, that cunt comes up on my language. It's so annoying.
Imagine I called you and he appeared. That'd have been a interesting call, man.
You know what's annoying? His name's not even Ross Harris. His name's Justin Ross Harris, but they call him Ross Harris in the news, of course, just to fuck with me. But other than that, Instagram, Ross Harris Music. Facebook, Ross Harris Music. YouTube and Twitter, I think Ross Harris Music. All pretty much Ross Harris Music.
Yeah.
If you Google Ross Harris Music, I should appear. Not a child killer, not an old man.
And if you need
maybe the old man, I don't know.
A multi-talented musician, drummer, bass synth, left-handed player.
Ask the child killer.
Yeah, ask the guy that killed the children.
Sure, he's good. Yeah. Ask him first. If he's busy, I'll do it.
YouTube algorithm's going to love that. Chilled
yeah,
killer.
God.
Yeah. Just keep saying it.
I'll get of me. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Brilliant.